Hello and welcome to Channel's Book Club. Always a delight to be on the show where we discuss books. Books make the world spin. Some people will disagree with that. Some people don't like books. They just like to watch movies or watch videos and so on. But whatever it is you love, just keep learning. Books are just channels for learning, for information, for education, for knowledge, for entertainment, and all that. So Channel's Book Club is really about knowledge and information and entertainment. But here is our favorite channel, the book. Well, today we've got one very interesting, compelling, and important one. It's titled The Challengers. Now, some years ago, I used to wonder, where are the books about Nigerian entrepreneurs? Where are they? But recently, some people have made it a point of duty to answer that question and make sure that there is no shortage of important, compelling stories. And this is one of the very best out there, I guarantee you. Written by Eghosa Imasuen, is the story, the disruptive Nigerian entrepreneurs creating ₦1 billion company. Well, I'm going to allow Eghosa to explain what this is all about, what this book is all about, but trust me, you really have to get a copy of this book and read. There is so much packed in here. I will say no more. Let's get to meet with our author for the week, Dr. Eghosa Imasuen, and then dig into this book, The Challengers.
Eghosa Imasuen is a medical doctor, publisher, and writer. Imasuen is the founder of the Narrative Landscape Press and a consultant at the Canex Book Factory under Afrexim Bank's Creative African Nexus. His short fiction and essays have been published in Farafina magazine and Stranger's Guide. He's the author of To Saint Patrick and Fine Boys, which was added to Ohio University's Modern African Writers Series in 2021. Imasuen joins Channel's Book Club to discuss his third book, The Challengers.
Eghosa, nice to have you on Channel's Book Club.
Thank you for having me.
Again.
Yes, again.
Well, it's been long you came to the studio, if I'm right.
About a decade.
About a decade?
Yeah.
Wow.
Should be 2016, 2015,
wow.
I think, yes.
Wow. Fantastic. I'm so proud of what you've been doing over the years.
Thank you.
I think our first encounter must have been 2013 at the Arcade Book and Art Festival.
That was just before you interviewed Obasanjo.
Yes, that was
in
before.
2014. So yeah, it was 2013. You were skinny then, and you didn't have the beard.
Yeah, I didn't have all this. How Fine Boys was published. Your first Fine Boys wasn't your first.
It wasn't my first.
It was the second.
Yes. Yeah.
But when was Fine Boys published?
2011 into 2012.
2011 to 2012.
Yes.
I think my first encounter with you had to do with Fine Boys.
Yes, it did.
When you published it.
Yes.
Your first novel came out when?
2008.
2008.
To St. Patrick, the alternate history.
To St. Patrick,
yeah.
Yes. Fantastic. Well, you've come a long way.
Yes.
Then from writing fiction, you moved into publishing.
Yes.
And you've done that over the last few years.
About 13 years now.
Quite successfully, I have to say.
Thank you.
Everybody's talking about you guys.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that journey from medicine to fiction writing to publishing.
Yeah.
Do you know how to handle a stethoscope these days?
I have to. My mom doesn't think that I'm no longer a doctor. When she hears I use the word former medical doctor in my appellation, she gets really upset. So it's been, I still do. The medical text is there, the hand is there, might be rusty, but at least the basics, I can do enough not to kill you. So I think I know when to stop and say, please speak to my classmates. They are still in practice, yes.
Incredible. Fantastic. So that has been quite a journey for you.
Yes, it's been. Yes, it's been.
And you didn't just go into fiction writing. Here you are today, writing narrative non-fiction.
Yes.
So Tell me about that.
Oh, so it's something I've always been preoccupied with. Not, should I say, I've always found biographies really boring. Then I've always enjoyed memoirs, which is weird because memoirs are a kind of biography.
Yeah.
But I've always loved the idea, and I didn't know how it was being done. Why some non-fiction books were so well told. And I think it started with, so my mom left pharmacology for law. So it runs in the family. And I think I was a teenager. I was already in medical school while she was in law school. And she had this history of Western Europe. I forgot who had it. And the way the stories were told. And even our own history textbooks, there was a certain way it could be dry and unapproachable. There was a certain way that made you just see the people. And I think it was when the historian got into the story and applied ideas about the opinions behind the decisions that they were observing. I always found that really interesting. So the way I even told my own novels, the way I wrote my novels was always with that technique of if it really happened and I was a fly in the room on the wall, how would I observe it? How would I report it to the reader? So it's that same idea of using the tools of narrative, the tools of fiction, if you want to say yes, yeah, to tell true stories. And what are the tools of fiction? Character, conflict, and setting. And once you can apply those things, that's the difference between a dry biography that ends up in your garage that you dash to your friends, or something that resonates. It's the same technique between even popular science that uses the points of view of the scientists at times that are making those discoveries and tells the story in a way that human beings can relate to, the way we can put ourselves in that room. So that was what I think I found myself leaning more towards it. The story ideas have always been there, the novel ideas have always been there, the ideas for fiction are there. But once in a while, I see true stories and I'm already trying to fit them into the narrative arc of a story. So it was something that I always wanted to do, something I really enjoyed listening to, reading. And I say, you know what, I think
let me do one myself.
Let me do one myself.
And what's the subject you have picked here? The challengers, the disruptive Nigerian entrepreneurs creating ₦1 billion company. Before I ask you specifics about this, did you have a sense, before you wrote this book, did you have a sense that there was a dearth of Nigerian stories?
Mm-hmm.
The stories of our businessmen and women.
Yes.
Business stories.
Well told, yes.
Yeah. Did you feel
well told?
We lacked it.
To be fair, there are many of them, but to be so well told as to not fear presenting flawed characters, please presenting them completely. Of course, access is always a thing. So for you to get back in the room to interview or get those witnesses to speak to, you have to be kind. But you can be honest and kind at the same time. And there was a dearth of those kinds of stories. There's many stories. Many people are doing hard work in this space. Many people are telling these stories. But there's always something. So let me say this way. In writing, you can't chase trends. You can't say because it's not present, let me try. You can be lucky that it's not present at the time at which you were interested in doing it. So I cannot pretend not to be aware that, yes, there was a hole here, that this didn't exist. But the reason why I wanted to do that was only tangentially related to the fact that I wasn't seeing it being done. I just wanted to write what I would enjoy reading. So coincidentally, it just allies with an absence in the canon of those kind of stories, yes.
So, somebody is just sitting down there wondering, okay, tell me about this book. What's this book about? Where are we going with this? What's the challengers? What's it about?
Yeah. The subtitle has a missing word because it was getting too long. So it's supposed to be the disruptive Nigerian entrepreneurs creating a multi-billion naira company. So we said, no, don't put, there's no need for the multi-billion, put $1 billion naira company. But they said, but since 2023, naira has fallen, no, you cannot call it ordinary billion. But the naira must rise again.
Yeah.
And books are forever. Books are not magazines. And so if in 3 or 4 or 15 years' time, we come back to where we are supposed to be, the title will still make sense. So it's about a group of individuals, most of them born post-Civil War between 75 and 83, 84. And so this is kind of age that you can say they are late Gen Xers and they're really early millennials. And in the wake of the financial crisis, they find themselves rudely awakened to the fact that they are just employees and they are quite expendable. And they said, no, we want to be in that room. We want to be in the decision. We want to own our own fate. And they come together, driven by one individual, and they come together and they say, around one individual, and each of them from different wings. Some of them are friends, some of them are acquaintances, some of them become friends, and they found a business. They have no idea what they are going. They found the business based on a business idea that eventually fails, or eventually they find they are not ready for. But slowly they start growing. And there's even one anecdote where one of their mentors, a Palestinian Dutch man who was close friends and older than them, tells them during a board meeting that he has never seen so much paperwork pursue so little money. It was praised. It was praised because he was telling them that I do not, and what they were beneficiaries of, I seem to understand, is that they were the vanguard of a slight generational shift in how business was being done. They were trained and recruited as employees, and they were trained in that post-1999 return to democracy, the flooding of the accounting companies, Arthur Andersen, KPMG, and the rest, PricewaterhouseCoopers, employing young Nigerians from medicine, from engineering, from social science, from wherever, just using the IQ test that most people were taking at that time. And they moved with that training into enterprise themselves. So they were pre-armed with an ability to govern a business. And they also had volumes of emotional intelligence to manage themselves. From different, there's a subtext of even ethnicity.
Yeah, you are talking about,
Yeah.
I mean, for the sake of our viewers, they're talking about Nonso Opala.
Yes.
Who is the protagonist for me.
Is one of them.
For me, I mean, yes. I mean, then there is Adeniyi Adenubi.
Yes.
There is Mobolaji Adewumi. There's Benga Omolokun. Azubike Emodi. And others.
Ayotunde Aliyu, Chukwumakalu.
Yes.
Chukwumakalu, yes.
There is what's the name of that gentleman who left them now? I've forgotten. The names are so many.
There's so many, yes. Which was really difficult to do because in real life you don't have few characters. They have many people.
Let me tell you why. And they own and manage VFD Group. Now.
They founded Premium Green at the time.
At that
yes,
time, it was
exactly.
Premium Green.
Yes.
You see, let me tell you why this story for me is important for Nigeria. And why I was eager to have you here. Because, look, let's be frank. Nigeria is a very difficult country to run business. It's a challenging environment to run business. But when I read this book, and I saw a group of people from different backgrounds, different ethnic groups, come together to create something that became what it is today.
And survive.
Yes. And do it successfully. I was blown away. I said, wow. I said, this is the kind of story that should. Because you have so many young people these days, and many of them want to do their own thing. I mean, here in this book, you find the power of collaboration, power of cooperation, the power of partnerships, power of networking, the power, and all those things.
Conflict resolution, you know? Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I would like you to talk about what appealed to you in this story.
So I didn't leave medicine for fiction or publishing directly. My dad was a Shell scholar, first set of indigenously trained, overseas trained Shell engineers, joined Shell in '69 with there were about 18 of them. But he left early in '78, became an entrepreneur, and I left medicine in 2010 when he got ill. And first son, they were like, what are you doing in medicine? My friend, come and run this business. So I I was trained by an entrepreneur and ran his business for about 3 years until it got better. And in that window of time, I had this, that was around the time that we owned a mortgage bank in Warri, and the licensing rules had changed. I think we had to raise our capital base from 250 million to 2.5 billion. And I had reached out to our network of friends. There were people like the late Albert Okumagba and Bankers Guarantees Limited, BGL, and the rest. I had reached out to the old Federal Government College Warri network. We were of that generation that were trained in that way. So there was small cohorts of people, Federal Enugu, Federal Warri, FGGC Benin, and Owerri, and the rest. So I reached out into the network. And that was the first time I actually came into contact with some of the people that would eventually become the founders of this business. 2010, 2012, 2013. Contacts were made, they were lost. Everybody went their own way. We eventually wound down the mortgage bank. We couldn't do it, and we gave the license back. Fast forward 10, 15 years later, I'm in Lagos. I'm an entrepreneur again. I founded my own publishing house, and I run into people that I remember from a decade and a half before. And I'm listening to what they've done since that time. And the stories are interesting. I'm telling them, no, this is really cool.
They're talking about their stories.
Their stories. And they're telling me, nah, in pidgin English, no, we never even start. Things still there front. And I'm like, no, trust me, you guys have done really well. Can I do this? So it's many things. It's finding, what I like to say is that most writers of my generation, Chimamanda Adichie, Jowo Ile, myself, Igoni Barrett, apart from when we do our dutiful stories, mine was to St. Patrick, alternate history of the Civil War, Chimamanda, Half of a Yellow Sun. We find ourselves really preoccupied with stories about our generation. There's something weird and different about us. So from Popular Hibiscus is people like us who were 12, 13, 14. And you go on to Fine Boys. Those characters are in their late teens, early 20s. Jowo Ile's character, they're in their mid-teens and they appear again in their 30s. Americana, they're in their 20s going into their 30s. Dream Count, they're in their 40s. And I said, you know what, why don't I show the readers those characters in real life, those people that you read about, those people that you call contemporary, meanwhile they are middle-aged now, because we're in our 50s now. And why don't I just show what an inflection point for those characters, what those characters look like in real life. The characters that went to the federal schools, the characters that were the last people to enjoy the federal universities at their peak before the private universities came up and kind of took out the juice from them. Show them at the crux of success, show how they maneuvered the financial crisis of 2008, show how they relate to Nigeria and in Nigerian identity. And the backdrop of that is business. Something banal, something, it's money. But see how they manage risk, see how they discuss with themselves, see how they fight and settle themselves, see the lines that they refuse to cross when they are fighting. And those were the kind of things that were really interesting for me. So the business was incidental. The business stories and success was a good ad for me. It's good to piggyback on their success, even if superficially or even if tangentially. But yeah, that idea of what was most important to a storyteller was the humanity behind the success.
The founders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names, Nonso, Adeni,
5 main channels.
Bolaji, Benga, Azubike, then and others.
Yes. They were about 30-something.
They are about 30-something that started. That
started. And they are still, most of them are still investors in the business. But they had 5 fundraising channels.
And these guys were the 5?
Eventually, yes, were the 5.
Eventually?
Yes.
Because Tunde Aliu was part of them.
Tunde Aliu was, yes.
And then there's Chukuma, right?
Yes, Chukuma Kalu, yes.
Was also at the beginning, but they left.
Yes, at different times for different reasons.
Yes, and all those stories are here. The stories about how some of them left. And there's many lessons to all this.
Yes.
Many layers of lessons.
There's even a kidnapping incident in the book.
Yes. Who experienced kidnapping? Was it Chukuma?
No, it was Tunde.
Tunde?
Yes.
Okay. And it was traumatic for him.
Extremely so.
Okay, but why do you have 1, 2, 3, 4? So 5. This 5.
Oh no,
or is it coincidental?
The painting,
on the cover?
The cover art. I need to say a great thank you to Mr. Aliki, who is the artist. It's from a private collection.
Okay.
It's just coincidental that it's called the Billionaire series. It's beautiful work. It's just coincidental that there were 5 characters.
Just coincidental. I was wondering.
Yeah, there were 5 characters.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
And if you look at the 5 characters, by the way, 2 of them are holding glasses of wine.
Yes.
One is holding a pen. One is holding a cigar.
Yeah, one is holding wads of cash.
And one is holding cash.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. There's serendipity in this thing at times. It just works. Now, initially, when we got the artwork, it didn't seem to work because it was landscape.
Okay.
Even though it was a portrait, it was landscape. How would you make it work in a book that is vertical? But it just worked. You know, it's just
very nice, very catchy cover and all that. So I'm very sensitive to covers.
Yes.
I'm always wondering what does it mean.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I notice the 2 guys at the extreme are wearing almost the same, with the exception of a tie.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So I thought maybe there was a meaning to it. Maybe we were trying to describe something.
Oh no,
I wasn't sure.
It was a painting that spoke to the designer, and once it reached out, this was me now shifting the decision to Anwuli Ojogo, who is my publisher, who runs the publishing company, because I had to have distance from the editorial because I was the writer, even though I'm a co-owner of the publishing company. So it was Anwuli, the designer making a decision, reaching out to the private owner of the artwork, whom we need to say thank you to, who is Niyi Adenu, based in his private collection.
Okay, wow.
And I said I found something really interesting that we can use. So so that was it. Yeah.
I mean, there was.
But the art is by Tolu Aliki, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, it's by the one. Yeah.
We stood no chance in terms of trying to cover everything in this book in a few minutes.
No, it's fine.
We stood no chance. Yeah. So
where can
people get this? Is it easily accessible?
It should be, because I think this is very important. Because normally there's this brand thing. You can say website. You can say people. You know the author's name. You can Google. You find where to get it. But the most important thing that readers can do is ask your bookshop. You know, ask your bookshop. Speak to your local bookseller. They know where to find us. And I believe that that's where we should be going to now. The book is available. It's available overseas. It's available. It's being distributed everywhere around the world. Speak to your local bookshop wherever you're watching it. It's on Amazon. It's on our website. But speak to your local bookshop, and your bookseller will reach out to and stock it. That's the most important thing that we can do to strengthen the book trade industry
in Nigeria. Well done to you and all the others who are still writing, telling the stories and pushing them out. Nigeria really needs this. Thank you for joining us on Channels Book Club.
Thank you so much,
my dear friend.
Thank you.
Great to have you here again.
Thank you so much. Hopefully I'm back again earlier than this.
Yes. Keep writing.
Amen. Amen.
I hope you enjoyed that. So much to say, so little time. Get a copy of The Challengers, read it, and send us your thoughts. I hope Eghosa opened your eyes to what you will probably find in here. I just couldn't put it down. I just kept reading and reading until it just makes for compelling reading. This is where we have to end the show today. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumu. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.